What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, party people? Live and direct. I got my boy, longtime friend of mine. I ran him down. You know what I'm saying? Busy man, always, always on the road, recruiting, working hard. So anyway, I hope everybody had a good weekend. I know I ain't talked to y'all since Saturday, but we are definitely back. Great week ahead, and I'm starting off the ball right. I got again, keep the comments coming, keep the shares, the likes, all of that. Keep that coming, man. We I'm just trying to share this knowledge and bring on my boys and friends of mine and college coaches, pro guys. We got a great week in store coming. I'm gonna tell you all about all the guests that's coming on. But without further ado, I'm gonna tell you a little story. What's up, Jerry? What's up, Manuel? I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my guy that's on today. We go back almost damn near 20 years now. Can't believe that, right? But we battled against each other. We always stayed in contact. Great college career. You're going to hear about it. Played in the Oakland A's system for a very long time. What's up, Bubba? What's up, Brian? We are, it's just good to connect. This is my first time seeing my man. Like, it's crazy. We talked on the phone a few times here and there over the years, but it's my first time I'm seeing my guy. And he agreed to come on, talk about his school, share his knowledge. Gonna talk about a great, and again, you guys that's been listening, how I've been harping and talking about the junior college level, and you can't get no better. And he's gonna tell you about his school. You can't get no better than this junior college over here. And without further ado, I want to introduce my boy Roberto Vaz. All right, he's live in direct on the road. He stopped at McDonald's just to get internet connection and make sure he was sitting down. He's been on the road, and he agreed to come on and join us. So, what's up, Dennis? What's up, Mark? So, without further ado, let my boy Roberto Vaz introduce himself. Robbie, if you could tell me a little bit about, tell the listeners in as they coming in. Tell them a little bit about yourself, where you come from, New York, and then all the way up through to where you at now. Give me a little background in your career and your school.
All right. Well, first, thanks for having me. It's always good to see a partner doing something great, for the community and for these people, and for players and in general. As you already had told them, my name is Roberto Vaz. I'm from Brooklyn, New York originally. I played junior college at Northeast Texas, which is in Mount Pleasant, Texas. We actually won the national championship in Grand Junction, Colorado in 1996. Wow, that's a long time ago. I was fortunate enough to be the MVP Sportsmanship Award winner. And then I ended up getting a full ride to go to the University of Alabama. I played there. Had a really good season there. Was nominated for the Golden Spikes Award, which is the equivalent of the Heisman Trophy in Division I college baseball. I lost to J.D. Drew, which wasn't bad because he was 30 for 30. He was 30-30 guy. He hit 30 jacks, yeah. 35 bases. So that's a pretty good season in college for sure. Mm-hmm. Then I was drafted by the Oakland A's in the 7th round. I played 7 years in the minor leagues before I decided I tore my shoulder up for the second time. And I was married at the time, and I had my 2 boys. So I decided to become a family man, and then I opened up an academy, which was very lucrative for me. And then once I set up the academy, an opportunity came to go coach at the university I'm at now, which is LSU-Eunice, which is a Division II college. I'll definitely go into the different divisions and the different types of schools that these kids can look at, and what we look for in a player, and what other colleges are looking for. But that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Cool. All right. We got more listeners coming in. What's up, Mark? We got Dennis Ruby. You got some Bama guys on here.
That's right.
We got, yeah, that's what they talk about. We got Carlos Pagano there. What's up, Pudgy? We got Bubba Lamont on my Roll Tide, and we got Shay Benson and Manuel. I think he already timed in. So anyway, I'm going to start these questions. Parents, the more that you come in listening, Roberto, just a little bit, man. You sound a little low. I know you're in the, in the restaurant, whatever, but you could talk a little louder. I appreciate it, man. Mark Henry, what's up, baby? So anyway, we got my first question I got for Roberto is basically if you could explain the different divisions in junior college, if you kind of explain those, because I just learned about this past summer myself. So, if you could basically, just explain the different divisions that comes with junior college.
Yeah. At the NJCAA level, there are 3 different divisions. There's Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3. All at the junior college level are able to play against each other as long as they schedule games. So even though we're a Division 2 college, all our games are against Division 1 competition because there is no other Division 2 school in the state of Louisiana. So we have to play Bossier Parish Community College, which is in Shreveport. We play Delgado Community College, which is in New Orleans, and we play Baton Rouge Community College. Those are the 3 main junior colleges in the state of Louisiana, and they're all Division 1. They're allowed to give scholarships full, room and board, books, fees, tuition, all of that's the D1 level. All right. At the Division 2 level, we're able to provide all of that as well, except for room and board. So there is no housing that they can pay for. Now, there are ways that they get around it. If the kid has academic money or he has a Pell Grant, state aid that is enough money to cover that as well, then he just pays for his housing through that, and it's not really a big issue. Division 3 is pretty much the same thing as a 4-year Division 3 program. There are no scholarships awarded. However, there are great programs that at the Division 3 level that have good players who get drafted out of those divisions, and what comes to mind is Tyler Junior College in Texas. They've won, I believe, 4 national championships, 4 or 5 national championships. And they've had guys drafted out of their program and guys go to big Division 1 programs. But those are the 3 divisions. I played as a player. I played at the Division 1 level. I've coached at the Division 2 level. As far as competition goes, they're very similar. They're very similar. I think that the parity between Division 1 and Division 2 is a little different. So if you take from top to bottom, obviously Division 1 teams would be better. But from top to bottom at the Division 2 level, once you start getting into regional play and postseason play in general, all those schools are good that are there, no matter what the division is.
All right. Speaking on that, we talked about it. Me and Robbie were talking about this a little earlier, but I didn't necessarily know how good of competition that your whole conference, that whole area is until I went down there to Southern Mississippi with my teams, and I got to talking to another coach over there, and he was telling me all the dudes that had great major league careers that came out of that particular school, and he was basically bigging up that whole conference over there. And he had told me that you guys had won the national championship over there, and he was telling me, and I was just, he didn't know that me and you were boys, but he was just telling me about that whole conference. Can you kind of give a little, insight on how good a conference that is, how good your school is, what type of D1 kids coming out of there, or kids getting drafted out of your school, and then kind of give overboard on the overall conference?
Our conference is, our region is called Region 23, which takes most of the schools in Mississippi, from as far north as Etowamba to as far south as Mississippi Gulf Coast. Other good schools in there is Jones College is very good. Pearl River Community College is also very good in Mississippi. The competition is good. They've had first rounders such as I forgot his name, but he was a shortstop. He played at East Central. He was like number 3 or 4 overall out of our region. Since I've been at LSU-Eunice in the past 10 years, we've had 57 guys drafted in 10 years. We've had over 75 guys go to power conferences, which is, we'll talk about that in here in a minute, but that's probably the best, most rewarding part of being a coach at the junior college level is watching kids go on to a 4-year school. But as far as the region goes, from 2006 to now, which would be 12 years, Region 23 has won 8 national championships. So in the past 12 years, and that's a Hines Community College, we've won 6, and the other one slips my mind, but I know those 5 out of 6 for sure. I mean 5 out of 8 for sure. Well, 7 out of 8, excuse me, for sure. As far as the region goes, it's baseball. I mean, you know how it is. When you get kids that come out of high school at that level, you get 2 different types of kids. You get one kid who's really, really talented, but may not be really, really good academically. So he has that ability to come to junior college and get his academics straight, and at the same token, put himself in a position where if he's good enough, he can be drafted either after his freshman year or sophomore year. We also get other kids who might not be physically developed as they should be out of high school, and they come to a junior college instead of going to a Division I school right away. A Division I school is going to take a kid who, when I say Division I, I mean like a 4-year school. A 4-year school is going to take a kid who is physically a little bit more mature than the average kid, okay? Because they want somebody who's going to be able to develop his first year all the way through. We don't need, and he necessarily doesn't need him to perform his freshman year at the 4-year level. The difference is at the junior college level, you only have 2 years, so you have to be able to come in there and perform and get better pretty much right away. That's why there's 2 seasons at the junior college level and there aren't at the 4-year level. You have to have a fall season because that gives them more at-bats, more time to develop, a better chance to get seen by 4-year schools and scouts. You understand? So at the junior college level, these players are getting close to 120 at-bats extra, are able to pitch at least 40 to 60 innings extra. You understand? So all that benefits them in their development, and it also gives them exposure to get to the 4-year level.
Nice, man. All right. We all know about development plan right away, so you better be ready to come to a school like that. We got a couple of questions, man. We got, what is the areas? You know, I know you probably heavy in Louisiana, but give me some other areas that you may recruit outside of Louisiana. You know,
Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida. So I would say that would be the major area of our recruiting that goes in with these PBR showcases and perfect game showcases. A lot of the recruiting is being centralized. So in order for you to still be successful, you got to be able to hit the pavement and still get out there and get you guys, you know, because baseball is becoming a country club sport in that regard, where kids who are able to afford these showcases are going to be able to get seen. However, if you have the talent but not, you know, don't have the funds in order to go to these showcases, who's going to see them? So you got to be able to, as a coach, be able to, in order to make a good chemistry and build a team, you got to be able to go to both sides of the fence.
I like that. Well, speaking on that, let me ask this. So what's a normal schedule for Roberto Vaz when he's, you know, in recruiting mode? Give me a full year spectrum of your schedule. You know what I'm saying? And where are you going and stuff like that. Okay.
We'll start like a typical August. We'll start at August. All right. August, the kids come in first. We make sure that they all get in. Obviously, I'm in charge of making sure that they're all settled in, that they all have their classes academically, that they're straight. All that goes on first. That usually runs all the way up to the maybe 10 days in, and then we start 4-on-1s. You know, we start our 4-on-1 practices. That becomes a dead period during that time. There is no recruiting during that 2 weeks. Okay. That is the 2 weeks in September. It's like I would say the 1st through the 15th of September is hard to recruit. I mean, it's dead period. Then there's another dead period in November because that's signing period. You can't recruit during signing week, you know, so that's in November. Once the fall is over, which is usually the first week in December, we have our major prospect camps. During that time, we actually have our biggest prospect camp is during New Year's weekend, which is the 29th of December. And it's just a pro workout, so they'll run a 60, they'll throw from their position. If they're an infielder, they'll throw from deep short. If they're an outfielder, they'll throw from right field. Catchers will throw from behind, get pop times. Then the guys will hit, and then we'll go to the pitchers. After that, we kind of divide the showcase up into two, so the pitchers just don't sit around. They come later in the day. So we'll probably start the prospect camp around 11. The pitchers will probably go around 1:30, like that. Now we start. The only time I get a break is from about the 15th of December to our prospect camp. So I get about 2 weeks. That's the only time I really have vacation, if there's such thing, So I try to do something with my family and enjoy that. When we come back in January, now it gets hectic because you got the high school season going. So this is a big part of us about showing our face in the community. So in the beginning, we'll go to all the local high schools in that area, make sure we see them all play. They usually, in Louisiana, they do high school tournaments in the beginning. So we could see 5 or 6 schools at a time in a day or two, which is really good. We start picking out our guys for that class and for the next class. Okay. So we try to go 2 years at a time.
Okay.
We already know what we want. You understand? But if there's something that jumps out and we have the ability to get it, we're going to get it. That's just how that goes. At the same time, our season is going on. So we play 4 games a week, right? 1 weekday game, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we do that from January. The last weekend in January is when we open our season. And we usually end our season. If you go all the way, it'll be the first, like June 1st, will be the end of the season. Okay. And that's the calendar. And then from there, I usually coach a collegiate team. I try to coach a collegiate team during the summer in a different area of the country because I'm trying to, hone my craft. And by going to different areas of the country, you get a chance to get different perspective, different views on hitting, pitching, sports specific activities, different drills, mentally, how you reach players. That's usually what I try to do during the summer. And then also, of course, every year in January, in the beginning of the year, I go to the National Coaches Convention, which is the ABCA convention. And I do that to try to hone in my craft. I think it's very important as a coach. You're going to know what you do well, and you're going to know that works for you. You keep that. But the other things that you're not very good at, or the things that you may have questions about, or you question the technique, it's your due diligence. It's your job to find out how to get that done, how to do it better, how to do things more efficient, and how to do it a different way.
So let me ask you this. So on your, I love how you, take your craft serious. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it.
So I kind of like how you say it for different parts of the country. Like, we come from a different brand of ball up there. You know what I mean? So up in New York, so we have lost. Okay, we went out for a little. You good?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a new brand. It's a whole different brand of ball from up north. And so in your playing and your coaching days, what have you seen the different types of ball players there? Because I hear different things, coming up, over the years about different players.
Up north is a lot more chit chat. You know what I'm saying? Up north, we chit chat it. We talk a lot of trash up there. But at the same token, our passion for baseball is always tested mainly because of the weather conditions.
That's right.
So high school doesn't usually start in the north until March. You understand? But you out there in the snow in February, you're practicing. You understand? I've shoveled snow off a field to play before.
That's right.
So that makes you mentally tough going through that in that regard. Now, as far as the southern Maine, mindset is more so of a work ethic. I wouldn't say a farmer's ethic, but it's more about a work ethic down south. Down south, it's the guy who works the hardest is usually going to be the best guy. You know, and that goes for all sports, but especially in the South, that's what I've noticed. Okay, I think that in the South, you have to be able to have a baseball IQ. Okay, because if you don't have that baseball IQ, you're not going to be able to learn different ways of skinning a cat, or what I call skinning a cat, of doing things. Okay, you're going to have different coaches. Some are going to touch you more than others. Some are going to, but every coach has something good to say. Something, you understand? And if he doesn't have something good, if you don't believe he has something good to say, then first you need to look at yourself and make sure that you're not being biased or on your thought of this coach or this outlook of this coach. But at the same token, you need to understand what your coach does well and what he doesn't do well. So then you can understand how he's trying to relate what he wants to get across.
Now, so I'm going to great information, Mandu. So again, let's just go over the camps and stuff that you have, and then I'm going to get parents and we'll get your questions in. So real fast, you say your big prospect camp is
December 29th.
So December 29th?
We have our prospect camp, which is December 29th. Then we have our hitters camp, which starts in January. If they need to see any of our camps, they can just go to LSUEBengals.net. And that's our athletic website, and it'll be self-explanatory. There's a tab that says camps. They just click on that tab, and they'll be able to see everything that we've got going.
Yep. All right, so I'm gonna start with these questions. All right, we have Mark, who lives in, he said he's in Louisiana. Mark asks, where's your school located?
Where's my school located?
Yeah.
My school is located in Eunice, Louisiana, which is approximately 35 minutes from Lafayette, Louisiana.
All right. Bubba from Alabama asks, what are your thoughts on switch hitters? But the power is on the right. Should you focus on one side or continue to try to develop the other side? Now, I'll give you a little background on Bubba's kid. He is, I think, 13 to 14-year-old range right there.
Okay. For me, as a switch hitter, I feel like you have to master a side. Like you have to have a mastered side. Understand that you're going to be batting left. When you switch hit, you're going to be batting left-handed more than you're going to be batting right-handed. So if you're a right-handed dominant, you're a right-handed dominant hitter, then you need to make sure that you're putting in double the work on the left-hand side. You're going to face the left-hand side more. Also, whatever side that you're weaker at, understand when it comes to clutch times in the game, they're probably going to go to that side. Okay, so you better be ready to handle the most pressure-packed situations, knowing that you're going to do it on your weaker side. Okay, so but as far as being able to switch hit, I mean, if you can do it, then I wish I could. You know, I mean, I was blessed batting lefty. You know, both of us, best. You know how I feel about that. But you know, if you can switch hit, you can switch hit.
No doubt. All right. Mark asks, Coach, does your school recruit from the Mid-Atlantic states and comment on the region as opposed to other regions, the Northeast, East Coast? I guess we kind of did. He asked this question earlier, but how many Mid-Atlantic kids come down there to play ball down here?
We've had not Mid-Atlantic, but we've had kids from New York come. You know, we've had kids from New York come down. We actually had the Player of the Year from New York City come to play. He was there about 3-4 years ago. We also had a couple center fielders from there. Obviously, those connections come from the connections that I've had being born and raised in Brooklyn. Now, if it's what I suggest for somebody that feels like they need to get that contact with these schools, that you, first of all, you need to have a video, okay? But the video has to come, it can't be front toss. You understand? It can't be underhand front toss or side toss. Like, we need to see your tools. So we need to see live BP, both from the side and both from the back, okay? Because from the side, then we can see how you load, how you stride, what's the bat speed looking like, what's the bat path looking like. You understand? But from the back, we want to see if you stay on path. When you hit balls in certain locations, outside, inside, what do you do? How do you react? What is your defense mechanism when you're not hitting the ball on time? You understand? Like, those are the things that we look for. Also, you need to run to 60. Even if you run the 60, run the 60 on the video, because as coaches, we could time it on the video. Okay. We do a lot of pop times with a catcher that way. If we video the catcher from behind, we can hit it when he catches it. We can hit it when he gets a second on video. You understand? And that translates that. So you want to run the 60. Okay. The hardest thing to do on video is show arm strength. You understand? So unless you have somebody who has a radar detector, a jugs gun or something, that when you throw, they can, clock it and then show it to a camera or something like that. I mean, if you can do that, then that'd be great. But as far as the second thing you need to do is that you need to personalize an email to the recruiting coordinator, right? And the sports specific position coach. So whoever, if you're an outfielder, whoever that outfield coach is, you need to email him. If you're a catcher, whoever the catcher's coach is, you need to email him. If he happens to be the catching coach and the recruiting coordinator, then you save yourself an email. But if he's not, you touch the recruiting coordinator and then you touch your position coach. And that's the best way that I think to get out there.
Hey, that's awesome information. So you're saying to me, you're saying you could time a guy running the 60 on video and be in the same ballpark.
Yeah, and be accurate. Yep. And be accurate. As long as he has a video where, like, even if he starts on the other side, we can go off his first movement, and then if he's standing by the finish line, then we see the finish line, then catch the end. Nice,
man. That's good information to know too, man. And then the live BP, you want live BP because certain coaches say, hey, so how many you want to take a round or two? How many swings? You know what I'm saying? How many you need to see from each side and back?
For me, it ain't gonna take long to see.
Right, you can know somebody can swing in a 9 minute, huh?
Yeah, if you're doing 2 to 3 rounds, I'm gonna see it by then. Right. I'm gonna know what you're gonna do. I mean, you either got it or you don't. There's certain things that you're gonna be able to do, and there's certain things you ain't gonna be able to do. Okay. Well, we look for things that we can't teach. Right? We can't teach bat speed. Like you either got that or you don't. We can't teach power. We can make you stronger, but we can't teach it. You understand? So you either got that or you don't. Arm strength. We can make you stronger, but we can't make you throw 90. Like you got it pretty much. You got the arm to throw 90 or you don't. You understand? We can make things stronger. We probably can get you 3 to 4 miles an hour technique, long tossing, lifting, arm care. There are things that we can do, but there's certain tools that only you can do. You understand? And that's power, speed, arm strength, those 3 in particular.
Nice. All right. Manuel Longoria asks, my son has been playing showcases with the Moore Bandidos as a freshman in high school. Is this too soon to be doing this?
Is it too soon to be playing summer ball?
Showcase ball, yeah.
Showcase ball? Okay, for me, I only tell parents that the most important summers for your kid are the summer leading into his junior year and the summer leading into his senior year. Okay, the other 2 summers, his freshman summer and his sophomore summer, he needs to get as many reps as possible. So he needs to play for a team that he knows he's going to play every day. Okay, because that's the only way he's going to be able to get better. Now, when you want to talk about exposure, then the Tomball, Bandidos, that's a fine organization to be with. Yeah. You understand? They, I've seen them. I've recruited guys from that organization myself. So, yeah, it's good to know. That's good. But the summer of your going into your junior year and the summer going into your senior year are the most important summers for you as a recruit.
All right. Mark asks, Mark and Murray, he's like, so what do you suggest Northern players do besides working out in gyms and indoor facilities? You know what I'm saying? Should they go south to play?
They definitely should. I mean, I'm not talking about go south to play permanently, but you need to pick 1 or 2 tournaments down there. That perfect game tournament during July 4th, that's probably the biggest tournament in the nation, ladies and gentlemen. That is definitely the perfect game national. Well, I think they call it the WWBA.
Yeah, the World
WWBA tournament. And that's probably the biggest tournament. You'll have all 3 divisions, both junior college and 4-year schools present at that tournament. Okay. and you're talking about over 400 teams that are there. And the way that they do it is they'll put the northern teams with other northern teams, so that area is covered. Because obviously, if I'm a coach at a school like St. John's or Villanova, I'm gonna want to recruit guys that are more in that area. So I'm gonna want to go to the games that Mid-Atlantic guys or Northern guys are at. So they do a good job of making sure that they have all those guys playing against each other together. And then when they get into the playoffs, that's when, you know, they have a playoff after the round robin or the pool play. That's when, you know, the specials. That's when you see the specials, the ones that probably they're not going to junior college. They're either going to get drafted or they're going to a big D1 school.
Nice, good information right there. All right. What Manuel asked in Texas, the Bandidos guy. What's up, Jake? He asked, what do you look for on position players and non-pitchers? Was there a particular, you know, you're looking for?
Okay, I'll let you know. What I'll do is I'll describe what our players are for us and what we look for at our school. Okay. Mm-hmm. Our center fielders all run 6'6" or less. All of them. Okay. Mm-hmm. Everyone I've ever had. I've been at this school. This is my 6th year now. Okay. Everyone I've ever had has been 6'6" or less. Okay. My right fielder and my left fielder, they all 6'8" or less, 6'8" or less. Okay. And they could bop a little bit. You know, my corner outfielders are boppers usually.
Meaning they can smash. So they can smash.
They can hit it far. All right. When we start going into the infield, obviously my middle infielders, those are fast. They like 6'7" or less. Okay. They're 6'7" or less. They got to have good feet, right? Good footwork in the infield. And they got to be vocal. Those are things that and that's any position, but they got to be vocal.
Gosh, say that again. No quiet infielders, right? Gosh.
If you're an infielder, you're going to handle the ball almost 80% of the time on every play. And if you play short a second, there's not a play in baseball with the ball batted, besides bunting, that you probably won't be a part of. So you got to be able to make sure everybody knows where they're going, what they're doing, and what you're going to do with the ball before you get it. All right. So we got to be able to have guys who can lead in the infield. The middle infielders, they're first. They do that. All right. My third and first baseman, they're usually the slowest guys, but they're 7 tops. My first baseman might be 7'1". Okay. But they hit it far too. Okay. They hit it far too. Usually the strongest arms in the infield are my third baseman. My shortstop usually has a good arm, but he's more agile. It's about, being agile, being able to put yourself in a good position to field the ball. I've had guys who are, I know y'all probably too young to know who David Eckstein is, but I've had players who were smaller in stature, who really didn't have a lot of arm strength, but the fact that they had a really good internal clock and a really good hands and got rid of the ball quickly, they were very, very good. Actually, I had a shortstop. His name is Brendan Bozeman. He went to University of Central Florida. He was our defensive player of the year in the country, and he threw 84 across the diamond, which is not very hard for an infield. Okay. Our catchers, all we ask for our catchers is 2-0 on the back. So guys, if this catcher's listening, it doesn't really matter if you're a 1-8. You understand? Because the 1-8 in showcase does not take into account the lights, the pitcher, a guy running, the umpire, the weather. It doesn't take all of that into consideration. So all we ask is in a game, we want you to be 2-0 on the bag. If you're 2-0 on the bag, we can't ask for anything less. That's the job of the pitcher, to be less than 1-3-5, and we'll be 3-2 on the bag, combined with pitcher and catcher. Combined with pitcher and catcher, and we'll be fine. I got about 5% on this iPad right now.
Really?
Yeah. I'm trying to if you give me a break, I can run to the car and get my charger.
Oh, you ain't got no again, go get it, and I'll
seconds. Give me 2 seconds.
All right, man. All right. You know you can't run no 6'5" no more. Anyway, guys, It's great information over there. I like how he talks about position by position with speed. But you guys understand, all the 6'8" and above or lower, that's major league average. So basically, he's telling you the outfield positions all run major league average or faster. He's basically dissecting how he positions his team is from a pro background. Usually, the left and the right fielders are the thumpers. The center fielder, if he's great, he's going to do all three. Then you get the Trouts. But the corner outfielders are usually your boppers. You know what I'm saying? The ones that get hit. The first baseman also. You know what I'm saying? You want a great defensive first baseman, but you definitely want a guy that could thump a little bit. All right. And he's saying on the shortstop, we talked about David Epstein. I could do a whole little, a whole show about him and how great he was and I say it humbly, and he'll tell you this, and a great friend of mine, but lack of talent. And guys that remember David Epstein will know, who have seen him play. He won championships with the Angels back in the day, and just a great guy. I remember he got released from the Boston Red Sox organization. And I remember 3 years later, he was playing in the big leagues, and 4 years later, playing in the World. I couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? So, great dude. And he's telling you, you know what I'm saying, about, basically not having the strongest arm of shortstop, but getting rid of it and fielding. And basically, and the catching side too, that's great. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to beat that 2-0. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he's right when it comes to the pitching and catching, getting rid of it with accuracy and quickness, definitely is a plus. So he'll be back on. Let me Mark, he's going to get into it. Chris, I got your information, and I'm gonna ask the rest of these questions. All right, that's pretty much all you have. I'm gonna make sure, hey, you guys come on. So I'm just going to kind of, while he's coming back on, let me just kind of give you a little update about who's coming on during the week. Okay, I'm going to talk about it at the end again. All right, tomorrow I got hitting coach Sean Allen from the University of Texas coming on tomorrow. All right, Wednesday we have, you good? All right, Wednesday I got my boy Big Mark, who's a scout for the Oakland A's, coming on board. You probably know him over there, Roberto. But he's coming on board on Wednesday. Thursday, we have Kelly Sinet, who is running this program out in Phoenix. Right, and then on Friday, I got Orlando Hudson coming, ex-major leaguer, now front office guy with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's coming on board on Friday. They locked him in. So we got, some really good people coming on board. We're going to keep this knowledge going. So anyway, I got Robbie back, and you all plugged in, ready to go. You ain't gonna cut off on me, are you? Well, anyway, he's coming back. But anyway, so I'm hoping that you guys make sure you tune in, and information that's going to be shared during the week. I'm trying to transition. We're bringing on more college guys, and I will continue to bring on the college guy recruiting side. But I kind of gradually want to start tinkering on the pro side. Robbie could talk to you about the pro side too. Played a long time and got drafted 7th round out of college at University of Alabama. So he could talk to you a little bit about that too. But, it's definitely, I want to start that transition, going into that. But anyway, now that you're back, Robbie, let's, I got a few more questions. So Chris Gunter from Memphis wants to ask, he asked, what is the best drill, exercise for increasing your 60-yard time? What's the best drills you have?
You definitely have to do speed and agility. Like if you can get a speed and agility instructor, that would help. You want to work on things that deal with explosion. So starts, we call them, stuff like, kids used to do butt kicks and knee raises. I mean, that's basic stuff, but that's warm-up type stuff. Stuff that you need is, sleds, stuff that gives you power to make you work on your hamstrings and your quadriceps to make those fire. That'll make you faster. There are only 2 ways to get faster. You either increase your stride length or your stride frequency. Your stride length is how long between
Robbie went out. Your video and everything went out. Hold on 1 second, guys. Maybe his battery went dead. We'll see. Robbie. Yeah, I think he waited too long and let me see. Yeah, well, he's gonna try to come back on. All right. He said he's plugging back in. He texted me. He'll be back on in just in a minute. So, Chris, to answer your question, when you're talking about speed, yeah, it's strides and everything, but sleds, basically pound his legs. Work on your, 60 yards is like a 40-yard dash when it comes to football, when it comes to this baseball thing, man. This is a lot of money is made when you go to time in 60s, either scholarship money or draft money. Like I said, 6.8 or more is what you need when it comes to definitely. If you 6'8" is how we gauge each other. You know what I'm saying? So when a scout gauges you, so you need to be 6'8" or better. Now, if you're a catcher, I think catching, the average time for a catcher is either 7'2" to 7'4". I think major league average. All right. But anything 6'8" or better, you write your ticket. You know what I'm saying? On the speed, you check that box. So and it doesn't hurt. It doesn't matter what age you start. You're just learning how to run that particular, because 60 yards is a lot different from 40. I know guys who get great 40-yard times, but that extra 20 yards, which I don't know. That'd be a good question to ask the scout on Wednesday. I don't know why we run. I don't know why we run so many. We run that 20 yards. Extra. So, hold on 1 second. I got Robbie back on here, and let me put him back in there. Hold on, Hold on 1 second. And Roberto. Robbie, can you hear me? Uh-oh. Robbie. I can't hear you though. Hold on 1 second. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Okay. Robbie.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. All right. So can you click on, let me see. Can you click on your screen? Let me see.
Let me see the video. There we go.
All right. You back on? You able to click on?
It says you cannot start your video because your host has disabled it.
One more second. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm coming. Let me see. All right. So click on you should be able to click on it, and you should be able to
start video. There we go.
All right, cool.
Sorry about that.
You all good? So anyway, let's we're going to continue with these questions. Mark Henry I think you were getting into the catching, but Mark Henry wants to know, what are you looking for in catchers? You said pop time, but I don't know if he I want to, if you could kind of elaborate maybe on your
sure.
On your
okay, these are the four things. These are the four things that's in order. Okay. One is, how does he receive? Okay. You got to be able to catch. Okay?
Talk a little louder, Robbie. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. You got to be able to receive. You got to be able to catch. Okay. That's the first thing you have to be able to do. All right. It's how you receive the ball. How do you receive bad pitches? How you're able to, frame the ball for the umpire. That's first. The second thing is your blocking skills. You be able to block. How you able to shift? How's your hip flexibility? how you're able to drop down on, quickly, how you're able to kick out on balls that are to the sides. That's secondary, okay? Because both of those directly affect the game, okay? Those are uncontrollable aspects that only the catcher is responsible for. So he's got to be able to do that. The third thing that he has to do is have leadership skills. He's got to be able to control the pitching staff. He's got to be able, because he's the only player on the field that sees the field the same way the coaches do. Okay? From that angle. His angle is the only angle. Everybody else got their back to the wall. He can see everything. So he has to be able to be a leader, be able to control the pitching staff, being able to remember, different hitters and what their weaknesses are. That's what the catcher's supposed to be able to do. And then the final thing is actually throw. Okay? Because it takes so many things to happen in order for you to get an assist as a catcher. Okay, you have to get the pitch. You have to be able to catch it. You got to be able to have a good exchange. You got to deliver a good throw to the infielder. After you deliver a good throw to the infielder has to make the tag and the umpire has to call him out. So there's so many things that have to happen in order for you to make an assist that is the last thing that we actually look for. We do want a guy to be able to throw. Don't think that we don't want him to throw. Of course we do. But out of the four things there, receiving's first, blocking second, leadership skills third, throwing fourth.
Nice, man. So so I think, let me see. I think that may be the questions that I do have. Yeah, I think that's all, man. So I want to wrap it up like this. And I've said this the other day on Friday when we were talking about the junior colleges again. I know guys from up north and people, most of the listeners are down here in the South, but you got the few people. If you get a chance, I mean, Roberto, if you could kind of explain your journey, because you did the college baseball route, you know what I'm saying? I was going a different route, but talk about you personally. How did you, a guy from Brooklyn, get all the way down to Northeast Texas and then to Alabama? And then, you being a junior college coach yourself, experiencing junior colleges. Talk about your recruiting process, how you went from Brooklyn all the way to Northeast Texas to Alabama.
It was very difficult. First, one by God, that's first, okay? But second, I had a summer team that I played for that had a connection with teams down south, okay? So, and a lot of summer teams nowadays, they have those connections. So before that became the norm for nowadays, that's how I played for the Youth Service League, which
talk about some guys that came out of there. Talk about some guys that came out of there, Roberto, please.
Manny Ramirez, Frankie Rodriguez, Sean Dunston, Alex Aries, Batantis from the Yankees. We were all on the same squad. Like most of us were on the same squad, the older guys. Me, Manny played together, so I've been fortunate enough to play with some of the greatest hitters in baseball history. So I was lucky for that. Once I went down to Texas, all you got was your opportunity, fellas. Once you get there, it's about how you grasp it, how you grab it, how you take the bull by the horns. The hardest part is going to be the adjustment of time management. Okay, the average student. Okay, if you have weights at 6 a.m, you have weights from 6 a.m, class from 8 to 12. You'll have lunch from 12 to 1. Then you got early work at 1:30. Practice starts at 2:30. That goes till about 6 o'clock. Then you have dinner from 6 to 7. And then you got study hall from 7 to 10 or 7:30 to 10. And then you get up and you do it all over again. Okay. So it's about time management and being able to do that, because you are a student athlete with, student being first, because you can't do the athletic part if you ain't handling the student part. Okay. So that's pretty much it. Did I answer the question? I didn't know if I needed to.
I just, I wanted, how an up north guy gets down to, Northeast, Texas, and to Alabama. How'd you get to Alabama, man?
Oh, I got to Alabama because I went to the Texas All-Star game. I wasn't being heavily recruited, guys. Even though as successful as I've been, I wasn't highly recruited out of high school. I wasn't highly recruited going into my sophomore year in junior college. But let me tell you this: I'm a product of somebody who just took advantage of the day that I had. All it takes is one person to see you on one day, and you in there. Trust me, okay? Because I wasn't being heavily recruited, so I went to the Texas All-Star game. And when I went to the Texas All-Star game, I ran a 6'7", and then I went 2 for 2 with a jack, both off lefties. Okay, so once that happened, when I say my phone started blowing up like ridiculous, Alabama, Oklahoma State, LSU, like everybody started calling, and I'm thinking I'm the same guy. So you don't think that your work is going in vain. There's always somebody watching, and they're always asking other people. Even if they can't get you, there could be somebody else who asks, and they seen you, and they could be like, "Hey, you need to see this guy that I saw." And then that could be the way you get in too. So always know that there's somebody watching, and all it takes is one day. It may not be on Monday. It could be Friday. You understand? But that one day, that may all you need in order to get where you need to go. And understand that if you put in the hard work, that opportunity is going to present itself. And then it's just going to be a matter if you seize the moment.
Hey, that gave me goosebumps, man, because that's real talk. You know what I'm saying? That's real talk. But all right, so I got a couple more that came in, man. Lance wants to know when Lance out of North Mississippi over here wants to know, hey, coach, I was wondering, do they have any two-way players on your roster? And how do they feel about two-way players?
I was a two-way player. I pitched and played outfield.
I think I know Lance, and I think he's talking about two-way, meaning I think he may be not two-way, but two-sport players.
Oh, two sports.
Two sport. Yeah, I think
guys,
that's what
we love guys who play multiple sports now. We don't. You rather have somebody who plays multiple sports because there are benefits in different sports that you won't get in baseball. For example, I believe football players train the hardest, especially in the weight room. You understand? So that is training in the weight room is a big part, a big component of being a great athlete. And if football does the best job of that because you have to exhibit strength more than anything else, strength and speed in that game. Okay. If you play basketball, okay, then your agility, your footwork, your ability to lateral move, all of that is done better than it is in baseball. You understand? What we do in baseball well is our hand-eye coordination is probably better than any other sport. Okay. If baseball isn't the hardest thing of hitting.
Your video went out again, Robbie. Robbie, see if you can click back in. Can you hear me? Yeah. All right, I lost my man again. Let's see if he come back in. So, and Mark, I'll get that question answered. The Texas recruiting, and what tournament he was talking about, and I'll get that question answered. Hopefully, you get back in here. You know, I know he's on the road, and that service probably is going in and out. So probably in some middle of Louisiana somewhere. But Deshaun, I'm a big fan of teaching my kids how to play all nine. Where should they start focusing on when should they start focusing? I think that Deshaun, I'm gonna let Roberto answer that question, but I don't think they should start focusing on having a particular position until they maybe get 13, 14, or 15. You know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't tell me I wasn't a great shortstop until I got to about ninth grade, and I never sniffed the infield again. So, you know, you're doing a good job making them play all nine. You know what I'm saying? Don't get nobody penciled in and comfortable of playing any sort of position. So, you know, guys are going to, you know, you got slow guys, and they're going to basically, those slow guys and, you know, guys that lack of, you know, arm strength or something like that, they're going to basically, you know, pigeonhole themselves into a position anyway. But those guys that are athletes, man, let them play all over. Because just because he, you know, I don't know what age group Deshaun you're talking about, but Deshaun asked, I'm sorry, you know, when should they start focusing on their strongest position? But, you know, one guy made you know, one guy may be the great, like I said, I thought I was a good shortstop and I ended up in the outfield. You know what I'm saying? Never played outfield before until I got to high school. So, You know, it took a little adjustment in here and there. So get them working, especially, you know, high school and younger. Like, let them learn multiple positions. Let them learn multiple positions. And, you know, so they will be able to, you know, handle, because I tell my guys all the time, just because you the shortstop and you the man doesn't mean, you know, and your junior high or younger teams, that doesn't mean that in high school you're going to be that shortstop or whatever. Especially if you're an athlete, you're going to be able to you're going to move all over, bottom line. So Deshaun, you say you have a 14 and 10-year-old team. Yeah, both guys. You know what I'm saying? They need to learn how to play both. You know what I'm saying? I mean, multiple positions everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Because in high school, you may have a really good school and they may need you to play multiple positions. And I agree. It ain't nothing wrong with that. If you are a Zobrist, I think this question came up on Friday. Zobrist or a you know, I was talking to a pro guy that I train from time to time, and he, you know, he trains all the time, and you know, and I'm trying to tell him, like, dude, like, what is the, he kind of want to have a position, but I'm like, man, dudes get paid nowadays to be versatile, especially for a National League team with double switches and, you know, hitting and, you know, pinch hitting, and you're going to play every day in the National League. Like, those versatile players come and they are well needed. You know what I'm saying? So don't start pigeonholing guys. Let them play. I know sometimes parents don't understand 13, 14, you know, and older, they don't understand their kid, especially the higher level you go, the more talented the team is with different guys. Sometimes they start, you know, I play shortstop, my kid plays shortstop all the time in this particular season and his league and all of that. And now they don't have, you know what I'm saying? Now they thinking they, you know, supposed to be playing shorts and all of that, where the high level, you said you go to high school and college, man, you ain't just, you know, even in college, you know what I'm saying? You may be switching here and there. And pros, they happen all the time. I could give you multiple guys who started at one position and ended up at another position. All right. Kenley Jensen, big time catcher. You know him as a closer for the Dodgers, but he was a big time catcher. You know, prospect coming up, but couldn't hit enough. But he had that on. You know what I'm saying? Guys that Adam Jones, you know, center fielder for the Baltimore Orioles. I remember when he first came up, he was a shortstop. All right. Couldn't, you know what I'm saying? And just, I thought he was good enough, but moved him out to center field, became a gold glove and played in the big leagues now 10, 12 plus years. You know what I'm saying? So guys move all the time, even in the pros. Okay. So what is a kid to be act like, hey, my sole position is my sole position? That does not work. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah, the kid's going to choose their position. They're going to want to play. You know, it's funny how when they're 8, 9, and 10, you know, and younger, they want to either catch or play first base and stuff all the time because that's what gets all the action, right? You know what I'm saying? And then the older they get, they may not like catching no more because it's a hard position. You know what I'm saying? But then they want to come in and let me get Roberto back in here. He's still here. I'm talking. But Robbie.
Yeah.
My bad, though. But yeah, I was just talking.
I got it now. I got it on the iPhone now. We ain't gonna have.
Okay, cool. All right, let me hold on. Let me get you over to so you could come in.
All right, let me turn on my video.
Right here. Or right now. Okay, you should be able to come back in. All right, cool.
Can you see me?
Yeah. So I was just kind of going on rambling. A couple of guys are asking about pigeonholing themselves and what age should they start specializing in position wise. You know what I'm saying?
I think the game will excuse me. I think the game will decide what position is best for you. I think that if you're able to play multiple positions, that's always a benefit for you, and that makes you more signable is the word I would use. But you'll know what you do well and what you don't as far as those positions are concerned. Okay. Also, you need to take into account what position might get you further. I heard before I signed back on, I was listening to you, and you were talking about different players who played different positions and then ended up someplace else. That goes back as far as Hall of Famers, guys. Craig Biggio, he started out as a catcher, went to a second baseman, and so it may not be the position that you even envisioned that might come to you. I think the game kind of has a funny way of putting you where you can be successful if you're willing to work hard enough and willing to try new things. You know, it's about playing. Now, you could take it where I'm not going to play unless I play the position I want to play, or I play, I play because I love the game, and it don't matter where I play. I'm going to make my name known, and I'm going to be the best at what I do. You know, if that's being an outfielder, then I'm going to be the best outfielder I can be. If that's a catcher, then that's the best catcher I can be. You know, now if you're a two-way guy who plays a position and pitches, that's going to be pretty simple. I mean, if you're a pitcher and you pitch better than you field, then you need to give up fielding, because pitching is going to be something that is always in demand. Okay? Pitching is something that's always in demand, no matter what. I could have a full roster or full class coming in. If there's another dude that got an arm, we'll make room for him. Yeah, we'll make room for that guy. Okay? Mm-hmm. So just be open-minded to trying new things, but I think the game itself will let you know what you're going to be able to play at the next level.
All right. Mark Watson asks, Texas recruiting, what camp tournament was that where you got your first great look? You know what I'm saying? Please repeat that.
My first great look was after the Texas All-Star game. And then the University of Houston, Alabama, Oklahoma State, LSU, and Auburn were the schools that were at me. Can you hear me, bud?
Yeah, I got you.
They were at me the most. And that all, like I said, that all happened because I had one really, really good day. I had a really, really good day amongst all these people, and they didn't know where I was, who I was, until I did what I did, and it just helped out that way. I was blessed, put it that way. I was blessed.
All right, that's what's up, man. All right, so I think, let me see. I think that's everything, Roberto, man. So I'm gonna lock it down. I'm gonna lock the questions and everything up right now, man. We've been on for a minute. Hey, Roberto, man, I love you, my dude. Thank you, man, for coming through.
Man, anytime you need me to do this, man, I'm good for you. You know what I'm saying? Just call me. You got any questions? You got any follow-up questions? Make sure you following this. You know what I'm saying? I trust your, your intelligence. I trust your knowledge of the game, your experience. You know what I'm saying? So anything you need, man, I'm always here. If anybody want to email me, they can email me at rvaz@lsue.edu.
Say it again.
I'll get
Say it again one more time. Say it again one more time.
If you want to email me, my email address is rv, as in Victory, AZ, @lsue.edu. That is my email address. If you got any questions, if you have any video that you want to send to get it looked at, I'll be glad to do that. That's not a problem at all.
All right. Appreciate it, my brother. We got so again, we're gonna end this here. Tomorrow we got University of Texas hitting coach Sean Allen coming on tomorrow. We got Wednesday, we got my boy Big Muck, Oakland A's scout, coming on through on Wednesday. We got Kelly Stinnett coming on Thursday, and then Friday got Old Dog Orlando Hudson coming through on Friday. So we got a packed house. My boy Roberto set it off this week. It's all been love. This is all just kind of last minute reaching out to dudes, and they coming on just to support guys, straight knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So it's greatly appreciated. A lot of the people are just saying thanks, coaches. We got Mark Woods from Indiana. We got Mark Watson from Maryland. We got Texas saying thank you. So, we got a lot of states just basically just saying, thank you. You know what I'm saying, Roberto, for coming on and sharing your knowledge, experience, and everything. It's well appreciated, my dude. Thank you, man.
All right, man. I mean, like I said, man, anytime you need anything, I'm here for you, brother.
All right, my dude. Take care, Roberto.
All right.
Guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow, 3 o'clock Central. You guys take care. Peace and love.